Hey guys, I'm back. I am so sorry. I'm a day behind, of course. Life happens, and I usually post on Mondays. It's either in the morning or at night, just depending on how the weekend goes. This weekend was busy with family, which was a great reason to be late. And then Monday night I played baseball, which I do every Monday, so I just didn't have time to make a video. But here we are. It's Tuesday. I'm gonna post this video as soon as I'm done with it, recording it. And then I'll give you guys 6 days. It'll be one less day to answer and respond to the question today. But let's go ahead and get into it. Last week, which was number 10, number 10, Daniel asks about New Zealand number 10. I asked, what is the biggest, incorrect opinion or thought of Australians and New Zealanders and how they're similar. So like a lot of people say that Australia and New Zealand are basically the same place, it's the same people, same demographic, and that's entirely not true. So what I was just trying to understand and learn from you guys was all these things that people are saying about New Zealanders and Australians and how they're similar. What are they? What are they saying that's similar about you guys? And then telling me why it's wrong or why is it incorrect? Why is that not true? So you guys had a lot of great comments as always. I read every single one of them. They're great. I really appreciate everybody commenting and helping out and supporting the series because I have learned a ton from you guys as always. And I always will continue to learn a ton from you guys. This is like one of my favorite things about this channel is getting to ask you guys all these great things. And even if they are silly or fun or goofy or even just like common sense to you guys, not common sense to me. So I'm learning a lot. So let's get right into it. Let's go over, let's try to do 3, maybe 4 comments. If we have enough time, let's see how it goes. But let's go with the first one. So the first comment I want to talk about is Anne McNaughton. And it says, as for New Zealand not being on the maps, you have to watch this featuring Rhys Darby. I believe I'm saying that name right. The reason I'm mentioning this, you have to watch the video if you haven't. It is so funny. I've seen that actor that's involved with him within it before, but I just don't remember what from. It is really well thought out. It is hilarious. It is creative, and it kind of pokes fun at how Australia is stealing New Zealand's tourists, and that New Zealand is always left off of the maps that are all over the world. And it's a fair point. I think you guys are left off a lot of maps. I haven't done my own research or anything, but according to the shtick or the humor that is this video, it's pretty clear that a lot of countries and a lot of the US and London and everyone else around is kind of just leaving off New Zealand on maps. I don't know why. And that's kind of the joke they're making. So I would highly recommend you guys watch this video. I'll link it down in the bottom of the description. It is clever and it is witty. Jacinda's actually in it. So, I don't know, it's well thought out. You guys will have to explain to me what that whole campaign is. Like, I mean, it seems like it says don't let New Zealand off the map towards the end of it. It's acting like there's a campaign or something that they're trying to do to help promote New Zealand, but you'll have to explain it to me. I don't know that part. But anyway, that's a great comment. Thank you, Anne. I laughed a lot at that video. So let's move on to comment number 2. Comment number 2 is from Eileen Hildreth, and Eileen says that Aussies are proud of their convict colony history. We were not a convict colony. Australians treated their indigenous people as less than human right through to the mid-20th century. New Zealand started with a treaty between the Maori and the British Crown. We are both Commonwealth nations with a rich British heritage, but just as Canada, USA are same but different, so are Aussie and New Zealand. The family type rivalry exists, but we have stood together time and again on the battlefields of Europe. I hope you learn the history of Anzac Day. I recommend a visit to Gallipoli exhibit at Te Papa, Wellington. I hope I pronounced all of those right. Anzac Day is one of those things I want to learn about, one of those holidays I want to learn about. We've talked about it in a previous video. I think it's similar to a day we have in the United States, Memorial Day, but it's more for your country, and I want to definitely learn more about it, especially when it comes around again. But other than that, yeah, I think I don't know a whole lot about the convict colony that is Australia. I have heard that they definitely did not treat their indigenous people very well, but I've also heard that from Kiwis. So if anybody wants to explain more in the comments, you can. I don't know exactly all of what happened. I just know that I've heard that before. That's not the first time I've heard they're very they were harsh to their indigenous people. But thank you, Eileen, for the comment. That was very informative and very interesting. So let's go on to comment number 3. The third comment I'm going to read is from Atai. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. It says, I'm not sure exactly when or where it started, but the Aussie-Kiwi relationship has always been extremely competitive, almost like brothers. And I feel like I've seen that. It says, we're quite similar in a lot of ways, accent, language, laid-back lifestyle, and quite different as well. Aussie by population is much larger than New Zealand, but I think what's really driven the competition is our mutual love of sports, which I love to hear. I'm a very sport-oriented person, so that's great. Being neighbors and in the same hemisphere, we play all the same sports, and New Zealand has always been able to keep up with, and a lot of times be better than our Aussie counterparts. So it doesn't take too many big games or finals for the banter to start flowing. Decades of this has resulted in no Kiwi ever wanting to be confused for an Aussie and vice versa. For most of us, it's all in good fun. Also, this old TV ad should give you a laugh. I watched it and it did give me a laugh. This is another one. I love it when you guys give me like these New Zealand or Australian old commercials or older commercials. I have loved every single one you guys have shared with me, and there's been quite a few. So I'll leave this one in the description below too. It's clever, it's witty, and I love the banter in it because the accents for me and the phrases you guys use, like she'll be right, and oh gosh, I can't remember what else off the top of my head, but the way, oh yeah, do you reckon? There's just simple phrases like that, just coins of term and coins of phrase that you guys use that just is so clever, and I've never heard of it before until I got here, and I love it. Like, it just sounds so intriguing and interesting to me. I've tried so hard to adapt and like pick up some of it and understand it. Some of the things are clear to me, but there's a couple times at work I've had to ask somebody to explain what they're saying because I don't know, and I feel bad, but this is good. This is a great comment. I love sports, I love competition, I love rivalries, so I think it's great that Australia and New Zealand have one. The fact that your accent and language and laid-back lifestyle is all similar is also very positive. I think this sounds like a healthy relationship that New Zealand has with Australia, so I don't think there's anything bad here. I'm still not seeing a whole lot of reasons why you guys would be necessarily too against being tied in with them, other than the fact that you are wanting to make it clear that you're in New Zealand and not Australia. I mean, you mentioned the sports, which is a great reason to want to be like, no, I don't cheer for whatever Australian team. I cheer for the All Blacks, or I cheer for anybody else, or anybody else that's in New Zealand, which is great. That's a great reason to stand up for who you are. So thank you, Atai. I appreciate that. That's a really interesting comment. So the last comment I'm going to read, number 4, is from John Prater, and it's an interesting one because I didn't know some of this stuff. But it says, Australia is always claiming sports stars or actors which are actually Kiwis. Russell Crowe is a Kiwi. Crowded House is a Kiwi band. There is a major war of the Pavlov. So, and then there's some comments on there if you guys want to read them. But I didn't know that Russell Crowe was a Kiwi. I honestly didn't. He's a pretty famous actor, so that's awesome. I'm curious as to what other actors or actresses or celebrities or sports stars that Australia tends to claim as theirs. So you'll have to fill me in on that. But it sounds like you guys have given me a lot to think about. I mean, obviously, your wildlife, your geography is different. And then obviously your sports are probably a little bit different. I mean, there's like no animals here that can kill you in New Zealand compared to Australia, which is like the most dangerous, I'm pretty sure, for animals and human life. But you guys have said a lot of things, a lot of interesting things. I do see the differences, and I see why there is tension. There can be tension between Australia and New Zealand. But I think that you guys have gotten a point too where it's also kind of like a brotherly rivalry, which is good. I think it's healthy. I think it's healthy to have a rivalry, especially with a place that's that close to you, you know? So I don't think the United States has anything like that with another country. We don't really have rivalries or anything like that. We're just kind of doing our own thing in the U.S. So this is neat. It's a nice way of looking at things. So thanks, guys. Let's go ahead and move on to our next question, or our question for this week. So you guys again helped me come up with the kind of thing I wanted to ask for this week, just from the comments you answered in the last video's question. And this isn't, I don't know, really more of a question, but more something I just want you to do for me if you have the time and if you feel like it. You guys have been linking a bunch of videos for me to watch in the comments below for the last couple videos, and they're all hilarious and interesting. So what I want you guys to do is, or my question, if you will, is what is, in your opinion, the best commercial that's been made for New Zealand that you like. We in the US have something called the Super Bowl. It's American football. It's like the championship for the NFL, which is the football league. And every year, people watch for football and they watch for commercials because the commercials are always really good. They've been kind of bad the last couple of years, but usually people watch, a lot of people don't even care about football. They just watch for the commercials because they're so funny and they're so good. So what I'm asking you guys is, what are some New Zealand made commercials that are either humorous, clever, witty, well made, well done? What are the best commercials New Zealand's made that you remember? And I know this is a hard one. A lot of people are probably like, oh, I don't know if I'll be able to find it. And if you can't, that's fine. I totally understand. If you can't find the video of it and you can't link it in the bottom or the comments, feel free to just explain it to me. Tell me about what it was that was so interesting. I've been blown away by some of the videos you guys have shown me. There was one, I think 2 or 3 videos ago, of a guy saying bugger to everything he was doing because he kept doing something wrong on his farm or with his truck. It was so funny, and I was dying laughing, and Alyssa was making fun of me. But yeah, so my question is, what's the funniest commercial or the best commercial or the wittiest commercial or the most clever commercial you guys have had in New Zealand or made strictly for New Zealand? And can I see it? Can I have the link? I want to watch it. And then I think actually what I'll do is I'll just, next video, I'll rank them and I'll explain them and we'll just see which ones are the best. So I appreciate you guys with all the support and all the love. As always, Alyssa's super pregnant still. We're getting really, really close to baby all over arrival. So I'm just so excited. So excited. I'm sorry if I look tired. It's preparation time. But thanks guys. I'll see you in hopefully a week. We'll see. Bye.